React of the day, guys. Why 10 million have given up on work? What do you guys think? I think in today's day and age, the dream we have been sold, which was a thing 50 to 70 years ago, which meant work a job, sustain a family as a guy with one salary, get a wife and kids, get a house, have no debts. That's all been like debunked in today's day and age. I feel that's the main reason. But let's see why this guy thinks.
4 years ago, America and the rest of the world saw its most intense spike in unemployment in recorded history. In today's news cycle, that is
Because of the pandemic, yes. So that was also another factor that made people kind of, tap out of this 9 to 5 grind for 50 years.
ancient history.
Until you go to pension, but the moment you get a pension, your body is already getting decrepit.
But what isn't ignored is what has been left behind. There are now over 10 million people, mostly men in America, who are not working, not studying, not retired, and not institutionalized. They are just doing nothing.
Is considered being a streamer with no, is it called considered given up? I didn't give. I don't know. No. Okay. Small tangent.
COVID accelerated this trend, but it's been going on for decades. Since the 1960s, about 0.1% of American men have given up on work to never come back every single month. So why are so many people giving up so consistently?
Why?
And more importantly, how are these people surviving without a job in this economy?
In October, Mississippi's labor force participation rate was nearly 54%.
They give you cash if you're unemployed, right? And they give you food stamps, which from what I understood, it sounds really bad, food stamps as a word. But the thing you can buy with food stamps, I saw videos of people going to groceries and buying like storage full of food. It's like, yeah, this can easily get you by for the whole month.
While the national rate was over 62%.
Not only for you, for the whole family.
It's been over 1,000 combined.
They're not working and they're not looking for a job, and those are the folks who we have to get into the labor market.
Why aren't some Americans getting back to work? It's the million-dollar question.
There are a lot of reasons why someone might not participate in the labor force.
Because it's not worth it. It's because society, I know, I'm starting with society. But society has given up on us a long time ago, and we started figuring it out and said, okay, well, I give up on society as well. Too bad.
Force. They might have retired, they might be still studying for qualifications, there might be people who are too sick to work, stay-at-home spouses,
or streamers,
members of the military who are clearly working but don't
still,
officially count as part of the labor
counts.
force. And then, of course, there are just really rich people who don't need to work to maintain their lifestyle.
Obviously.
These groups have always existed, but there is a new group growing alongside them, which are people who have just given up. The fastest growing group of these labor force dropouts have been men between the ages of 25 and 55. Men in this age range would typically be in the prime of their careers, but more and more of them are not working at all. Now, some of this can simply be explained by the fact that more women have entered the workforce. In fact, up until 2008, women were entering the workforce almost as quickly as men were leaving it.
Okay.
Some men just took on domestic roles as stay-at-home husbands, while
I don't think that's a big portion of the men that are unemployed, but I guess that could happen as well. I think that's a small outlier for the unemployment of men. Oh, some of them become domestic husbands, let's be honest. Not many of them get to be that.
wives or partners focus on their careers instead. According to Pew Research, young women are now earning significantly more than young men in most major cities in America.
I mean, most women have a higher grade of university, degrees than men, so that's understandable.
Men are also graduating college at higher rates than
Yeah,
men.
like I said.
So it makes sense that a growing group of men are tossing aside typical gender roles and doing work that doesn't get counted as typical employment. If this were the whole story, there would be absolutely nothing wrong with this.
There will be an issue,
but let's
yeah.
be honest. Having a stay-at-home parent, no matter what gender they are, is a luxury that most people simply cannot afford in the modern age.
Exactly.
Especially young people who are the fastest growing group of labor force dropouts. There is something.
The thing that is the most issue, in my opinion, is the economy. The economy. Most people cannot afford to have a child. It's not that they don't wanna, they can't afford it. Straight up. So, if they can't afford a child, let alone a house, let alone a wife or a partner at least, what's the point in trying in the first place? Also, if they try, they end up with a debt of over 100K because of university funds. Wow.
Something more going
Does this sound good to you? Does it?
on here. Nicholas Eberstadt is a political economist who published the book Men Without Work, which tracked the trend of working-age men simply giving up on work.
It's only the beginning. This number is gonna increase significantly in the upcoming years. It is the future. You people start figuring more and more that working is not worth it, straight up. And if something is not done to alleviate the fact that, you know, life is so hard nowadays, you gotta grind just so you get the minimum, is like, okay, well, then I don't need to grind, because most people can get the minimum without grinding to begin with. They just don't need to live they just need to live with their parents. Problem solved. Here you go. And it's not that bad, to be honest, because, you know, you have a lot of pros. Like, yeah, freedom. Wow, what freedom do you have if you start working 60 hours a week? You have no freedom. That's just an illusion.
And largely removing themselves from society.
It is what it is.
His book, which was first published in 2016,
The
lines
freedom
up
to
perfectly
work
with
all
a
day.
2022 study on the issue conducted by the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, which found that men without a college degree in particular were dropping out of work because their earnings power was significantly lower than their peers who did have a 4-year degree. That's not unusual, because college-educated people should expect to earn more than non-college educated
Obviously.
workers on average. But the finding found that the gap between the two groups had widened significantly, especially amongst college-educated versus
Okay, so builders and McDonald's employees, they're like, nah, dog, I'm not going for it, because there's no fucking chance I will survive. So I'll better be unemployed. Straight up.
non-college educated men. Now, this was particularly surprising to the
And live the good life of chilling. Hey, gotta do what I gotta do.
researchers, because it would actually make more sense that higher income workers would drop out of the labor force, because if they are earning a lot of money, they have a better chance of marrying a higher earning spouse or just saving up more money for an early retirement.
Yeah.
Instead, they found the opposite. The group that earned less were more likely to drop out of work. And yes, before you ask, the study did account for the fact that people not working won't be making an income, so they would automatically be in the non-working low-income group. Now, since men are now overrepresented in non-college graduates, they were the largest group of people giving up on work. But even though it's tempting to make this an entirely gender-specific issue, and to be honest, it would make for a more engaging YouTube video, there are some bigger forces at play here. The reason that people with lower incomes were dropping out was simply because they had less to lose and more to gain.
Food stamps. That's literally, if you don't earn that much money, you just go for food stamps. It's like a salary right there.
Most unskilled jobs cannot buy you a comfortable lifestyle basically anywhere in America anymore. And
Yep.
as more people tie their identity and social status
Back in the day, in 50s, like 1950s, with a work at a factory, which don't have to be skilled to do that, you could sustain a whole family and buy yourself a house and a car. Nah, dog. That's not gonna happen anymore. You go to McDonald's, if you're able to pay your rent without eating food for the whole month, you consider yourself lucky. Does this sound fun?
to their work and income, it's become much harder to accept unglamorous service positions. If you were given two options, honestly consider which one you would choose. You could scrape by working a few minimum wage jobs where you are on your feet dealing with customers and managers all day.
Those are the worst jobs. They're like, bro, working at a corporation versus working at Mickey D's. Heaven and earth. Heaven and earth. This is not even a like I work as a waiter, which is considered one of these type of jobs. Cancer. You would be stressed all the day. Oh my god, it was so stressful.
Job where you are unlikely to advance too far without a degree, and you won't have much time or energy left at the end of the day to pursue side projects. You might also be working a job that you aren't exactly proud to share with your friends, family, or romantic interests.
To be fair, hey, working at Mickey D's or wherever, bro, work is work. You gotta be proud of it. You know, Like, yeah, it's not the best, and obviously there is like a spectrum of how much respect you get for the job you're doing, right? Like, of course, I'm a streamer, so the respect I get at the end of the day is absolutely nothing burger compared to, I don't know, like a lawyer, right? But still, you will get more respect than getting no respect if you don't work in the first place.
The other option is that you could scrape by on whatever government programs or family support you could find. Maybe work on some side projects in your spare time, or just fill your day with low-cost recreation like playing video games.
I'm telling you, bro. Playing video games, bro. I play Elden Ring. You can play that shit for years. I'm telling you, it's fucking awesome. It's so fucking good, bro. So fucking great. Imagine you doing that and just chilling. Oh my god, that would be great. Thank you. Hopefully it will happen in the future. Thank you. But until then, work.
I would like to think I appreciate the value of a hard day's work, but I have always had the luxury of a prestigious career and successful business.
Yeah, you cannot say that as a YouTuber. I'm sorry.
Given these specific options, how would you choose to spend your day? If you are brave enough, go ahead and share it in the comments below, so people on the internet can call you a bootlicker or a lazy zoomer.
Call of Duty and drinking Red Bull. Red Bull is unhealthy, bro. You have to think that if you're planning to play a video game, right? You have to be as healthy as possible so you can keep playing as much as you can, right? So make exercise and all that in the meantime so you can do that even more later on. It's an investment. But yeah, no, it's like it's either playing video games and chilling or working your ass to the bone so that you cannot even afford rent. That sounds like a easy decision to me.
Respectively. Now, the second option also has the advantage that if someone asks you what you do for work, you can just tell them that you are working on a new business or taking some time off. The Fed study found that this was one of the biggest reasons people didn't want to take on jobs that they thought were beneath them. Now, no matter what side of the fence you are on, this issue affects us.
There is only one reason. The main reason is pay is too low. More money.
It's all.
If you want more, hey, I can work at McDonald's. Just give me a salary of, I don't know, 80K a year.
These millions of people are out of work at the same time as we have major issues with worker shortages in our most important industries. And this trend is only going to get worse unless something changes. So it's time to learn how money works to find out how these people are surviving without work and what it means for the rest of the workforce if they never come back.
And nobody
cares. This week's video is sponsored by Brilliant.
The workforce will survive. There is no biggie.
Brilliant is an interactive learning platform that turns
unless all the McDonald's workers go on a strike, I don't care. Because there's always be a McDonald's worker at the end of the day. But if they all go on a strike, that's a big issue. Because then I cannot get my McDonald's. And that's a no bueno.
Complex topics into engaging and easy to understand lessons. Whether you're interested in math, data analysis, programming, or AI, Brilliant helps you master the material through hands-on problem solving.
Let's go,
One
guys.
Of the latest offerings is the Introduction to Probability course.
Just use ChatGPT.
This course dives into the fundamentals of probability, teaching you how to make informed decisions by analyzing real-world data. It's perfect for anyone learning to enhance their critical thinking and data interpretation skills.
Critical thinking, one of the most underappreciated skill set that you should have. Like this one is it's underrated. Let's just put it that way. It should be up there, like the top 3 skills you should develop as a person.
Personally found this course invaluable. It breaks down challenging concepts into bite-sized lessons, making it easy to follow and apply in everyday situations. Plus, learning through interactive exercises is so much more effective than traditional methods. What I love about Brilliant is how seamlessly it fits into your daily routine. You can learn in just a few minutes a day on your computer, smartphone, or tablet, making it incredibly convenient no matter how busy your schedule is. To try everything Brilliant has to offer, including their Introduction to Probability course, for free for a full 30 days, visit brilliant.org/howmoneyworks or click the link in the description. You'll also get 20% off your annual premium subscription. Apart from a few early retirees that made a lot of money at a young age, most of the people who are not working and are not looking for work are living extremely basic lives. Eberstadt's research went beyond the broader demographic studies and focused a lot on trying to figure out what these people were actually doing with their time. Now, the next few minutes are going to contain some hard-to-swallow pills, and even though Eberstadt is sometimes a bit Direct, with the way he lays out the facts, his research and his recommendations address some of the most important issues in our society. He found through national surveys that the average man not in work or looking for work was basically doing what you might expect. They were sitting at home, spending a majority of time behind a screen. Most of them contribute very little to looking after other members of a household, and they were underrepresented in other civic activities like volunteering, even though they had more free.
Like I said, they wouldn't volunteer because volunteering means that you actively help society. The society that fucks you over in the first place. Because, hey, if the jobs you could afford would actually be good to you, because it's simple, right? There's a formula in your brain dictating whether or not you should make a decision of a certain degree. Like this one, for example, okay, you have a formula in the head is telling you this: if I work a job, will my life overall improve? Would it on average improve? If the answer is no, why would you even engage with it? And that's the issue. You basically, the way it should go is you sacrifice your time and your well-being as well, most of the cases, in order to acquire capital. Okay, you acquire capital, and that capital helps you in your overall life, or helps people around you, at least, to say at the least, right? But if you don't have to help other people, number one, or you don't care in the first place, and the focus of your life is yourself, and you think, okay, what will I do with this whole capital? And that is like, okay, I can move to another place, so I can barely pay for my rent and maybe get some, like, basic rice dishes, or they live day by day eating only rice. Like, why would you do that in the first place, right? It's stupid. The formula dictates that you should not do it. So therefore, you listen to the formula that your brain creates. That's it. If you want people to work, give them better incentives. Really.
Time than their peers who worked or studied. He also poked holes in the idea that a lot of these men had just become stay-at-home spouses taking care of chores to support their working partner, a role that was, in the past, typically performed by women.
Those people, it's fine. We're talking about the gamers out there.
Unfortunately, according to the federal survey data he collated, the average labor force dropout spent an equal amount of time on household care as the average employed woman, and 5 minutes less per day than the average unemployed man, who would theoretically be spending at least some of their time looking for a new job. What they were spending their time on was leisure activities and sleeping. The average person who had dropped out of the labor force was also far less likely to have children or a partner, and Eberstadt theorized that—
Yeah, I wonder why. Is it maybe because he spends all his days staying in house? Number one. Not socially. Number two. Not having a social status, because work offers you strength by increasing your social status in most cases. And that is very well sought out after when it comes to women, right? That does, so you don't have that. Obviously, you would not be this partner they are looking for if you just stay at home and chilling. But that's the, that's the risk, the pros and cons. You stay at home, you chill, that's really cool. But obviously, you're not gonna get a partner. Now, most people overrate getting a partner as this wow factor. That significantly increases your life. Me personally, I think that's just a cap. Most people in relationships, I feel, would be 10 times more happier if they were single. Straight up. Because they could choose this life. And this life sounds like a banger.
there were two reasons for this.
Over, arguing all day, throwing plates at each other's head, not synergizing at all with each other, just hating each other, but feeling like you cannot leave the relationship. Oh, that sounds awesome. And let's not go into the financial aspect of relationship, which is basically a money sink.
The first reason was that children, dating, and a family life are expensive commitments that people trying to get by without a job just simply wouldn't be able to
Obviously.
afford. The second reason was that people with
dating, more like spending hundreds of dollars so you get ghosted at the end. Wow. That sounds like the best thing I want to go through. My friends, they have been through some of this. And they're wonderful people. Still doesn't matter. They still gonna happen.
Family to support were inherently more motivated to go out
Which
and provide,
sounds horrible.
even if it meant working a job that a single person wouldn't. Of course, this is a large sample size, and there are plenty of people with children who don't work and plenty of couples totally outside of the labor force as well. But even without these typical responsibilities, daily life is still very expensive. Government benefits for people out of work typically only extend to those people who are either actively seeking work or cannot work because of an illness or disability.
Yeah, just pretend you're ill. Let's go.
The exact makeup of these assistance programs varies state to state. And of course, outside of America, different countries have different levels of social welfare. But America is where this trend has been most pronounced, and it's also where a bulk of the research on this trend has been done. So as anybody who has ever tried to apply for government welfare in America will tell you, the burden of proof to qualify for these payments can be exceptionally high, with the only real exception being COVID-era stimulus, where arguably the burden of proof for payments was too low. Saying you need unemployment payments because you would prefer to stay at home all day vaping and playing Fortnite isn't going to fly with Uncle Sam. What Eberstat did find, though, was that it had become much easier for people to qualify for disability payments, which in most circumstances do not require recipients to be actively looking for work to maintain their payments. In his own book, he highlights how difficult it was to find consistent data on all of the government programs that might be available to these people. And of course, needlessly pointing the finger at assistance to some of society's most vulnerable people is not the point here. What is, though, is that according to data from the Department of Social Security, annual disability insurance payments have outpaced all other major programs. They provide the data as a table, but here is a nice visual line chart. Dr. Dwight R. Lee, an economist...
So there's a bit of... some of them are phonies is what they're saying. Is that it? Because the charts are too... They go too far and above. Too many disabled people. I wonder why.
Also proposed that a major element that Eberstat overlooked was that a lot of these men were working. They were just doing it in the underground economy, which was estimated to be contributing about $2 trillion, or about 12% of US GDP. This could include these people doing anything from working informal cash jobs to skirt tax and minimum wage laws to outright illegal operations like shoplifting or selling drugs. So the work of these...
Or scalpers. That's also another one. God, we love our scalpers, am I right? They provide us with entertainment so that, on YouTube. That's pretty much what they do. That's how they contribute to society. And also being a menace. Whenever they go fight in Casco or whatever.
Researchers paints an image of this growing group of individuals mooching off friends, family, and the government, while wasting their days away playing video games or
League of Legends!
Burden on society. It's not...
Oh, what a burden. Oh, man, I feel so sad. Society, I'm a burden on society. Oof, so sad. Oh, no, society. I love society. God, guys. Society. Guys, remember that time when society was there by your side? And you were sad and society said, here, I have a solution for you. Remember the time? Because I don't. The only times society was there for me was when I had to, pay taxes. They were right there. They were like, oh, hey, I know you exist, by the way, pay taxes. Or, hey, do you want this wonderful PTSD? No? Well, too bad. You still get it. Here you go, PTSD. This is like traumas after traumas. That's what society offers you. Great society. When I will get something good out of you, you piece of shit, is my question.
Exactly flattering. But to be fair,
When?
there are certainly people living these lives. And with nationwide or even global demographic trends like this, broad strokes need to be made. The researchers studying this trend are actually highly sympathetic to the situation of these people, and they seem motivated to actually fix the cause of these problems.
How are they gonna fix it? How? Tell me.
I will of course be leaving a link to the full book in the video description if you want to read it yourself,
It's just a book.
as well as some great interviews these men have done that lets them articulate their grim feelings in a way that's a bit more human. The reality is that I can personally see if just a few things went differently in my own life, I could have easily fallen into the same comfortable trap.
Obviously. Is this a trap though? Or is it the solution? That is my question. I personally think it could be both. Depends on the context. Some people are not meant to be neats. But some people, This is the lifestyle that they are meant to live, but society is not ready for it. Or is it? And they just don't want that, because guess what? Why people hate people that don't work? Conspiracy theory time. Do you know why? Because it's simple. I am working, right? I would hate people that don't work. Do you know why? Because when I work, I'm suffering. And I hate people that are doing better than me. People that don't work basically are chilling. Chilling is better than suffering, right? So I actively seek to make them work so that they could suffer, right? Same as me. And then we are in this together. We're in this shithole together. Because before you were above me, looking at me and say, hey, hello, and I was like in the shithole, collecting the shit. Now we're both in the shithole. Feels good now. Yay. Second thing, society itself, government entities, everybody, they interact with the news media. Why news media always try to shit on people that don't work, regardless of whether they have it better than the people that actually work? Why, you may ask? Taxes. Because if you don't work, what taxes can you pay? None. What insurance do you pay? None. Right? So what you do is you need to make them work so that they can pay you money. Yeah. And if they work, they have more cash so they can spend on random bullshit, which means more capital going back to the system. But if they don't, we get less losers to pay us. That's the conspiracy right there. I don't even think it's a conspiracy to begin with. So they create they interact with the social media and all these news stations and tell them, you gotta condone the fact that people, if you gotta make sure that everybody that doesn't work is viewed as a loser. Straight up.
Most of you watching could
Which they succeeded. Very, very successful initiative.
have too, whether you realize it or not. But this still doesn't answer the most important question. Why is this becoming more common? Most people,
Like I said, the formula to success in your mind dictates that you will be more successful by not working. Straight up.
given the choice, would prefer a nice stable job with an income that could provide a standard of living beyond basic survival. But yet, more and more people are dropping out of even trying to look for a job every single year. There is unfortunately no single answer as to why people are giving up, but there are some contributing
I just gave you the answer. The answer is it's not worth it.
factors. Firstly,
It's not worth working. Working is shit. Regardless of what work you get, you don't come to me and say, "Oh, my job is amazing, blah blah blah." Good for you, bro. Most of us though, you wake up and you're like, "Oh my god, this again." That's basically it.
competition for good prestigious jobs have become far more fierce, while pay for basic jobs has not kept up with living costs. Technology has made it much easier to isolate oneself from the rest of the world, and there are other broader social issues like the opioid epidemic that at the very least have not helped this trend. One of the most damaging factors has been the insidious myth of the skills shortage, which has led to an economy where millions of people don't have a job, but there are millions of jobs that don't have people to fill them.
Yeah, millions of jobs that don't have people to fill them. I wonder what job they're talking about. Is it perhaps a construction worker, poop collector? Because yeah, that's a job. We had it back in my city. You can go to people and collect their poop. You have what else? McDonald's employee, cashier at Walmart. Don't they sound awesome jobs to have? Why nobody wants them, I wonder.
I am going to be writing an article about how the idea of a skills shortage has been used to undermine the traditional career path of millions of Americans over on my free email newsletter linked in the video description. Something like the rise and fall of the tech bro is a clear demonstration that even the most talented and driven workers have less control over their careers.
Okay, we're done. Yep. Well, what is the issue? The issue is jobs suck, job doesn't pay well, why do I work? And then people say, you suck because you don't work a job that sucks and doesn't pay well and makes you feel like you're a retard. I wonder, like, which one do you take? Which pill? Which pill? Hated by society or hated by yourself? I will take hate by society every day of the week, to be fair. Fuck society. It's not even close to me as a person. Value yourself most importantly, rather than value what others think about you and whatever the fuck. External gratification can only get you so far. My point.